The red carpet stretched before me like a path paved in velvet fire. My heels clicked with each step, echoing off the high marble walls of the wedding venue. Laughter filled the air, champagne flowed like rivers, and crystal chandeliers threw diamonds across the polished floor, but I couldn't hear any of it. Because the moment I walked in, I saw him, Logan Pierce, my boss, in his signature navy suit, holding a glass of scotch, leaning against the bar like he owned the damn world. And then he smirked, that cold, arrogant smirk he reserved for boardroom dismissals and public humiliations. He lifted his glass, tilted it toward me, and said, just loud enough for me to hear, "Enjoy your day, Madison. You're jobless tomorrow. Before we begin, drop a comment and tell us where are you from, and from which city you're watching our videos. And after watching the whole video, don't forget to tell us what would you do in this situation. Be honest, tell me in the comments below. We read every comment. Let's begin." I blinked. My heart didn't skip a beat. It slammed into a wall. I clenched my bouquet tighter, the white roses creaking under pressure. He didn't look away. He didn't flinch. He just stood there, sipping, watching me crack. I wanted to scream. Not today. Not on my wedding day. I turned away fast. Guests were still smiling, taking their seats. My mother waved me toward the aisle. The string quartet had just started playing the opening notes, but I didn't move. I pulled out my phone, opened the last message from Logan Pierce. "Let's call it your final celebration. You're done Monday. No explanation. No reason. After 5 years of breaking my back for that man, this was how it ended." I shoved the phone into my clutch and walked straight up to the man who was about to become my husband. Ethan. God, he looked stunning. Black tux, slightly loosened collar, soft smile that turned my rage into steam. But the moment he saw my face, he frowned. "What's wrong?" I didn't speak, just pulled out my phone and showed him the message. He read it once, then again. Then his jaw tightened. "He sent you this now?" I nodded, still holding back the explosion burning in my throat. He looked up, and his smile was gone. His eyes zeroed in on Logan at the bar. "I'm going to step outside for a second." "Ethan." He leaned close, whispered, "Trust me." I watched him slip through the side entrance with his phone pressed to his ear. I tried to refocus, but every eye in the room suddenly felt like it was watching me. 20 minutes passed. No Ethan. Guests were shifting. My mother looked confused. My bridesmaid whispered, "Do we wait more?" And then the door opened again. Ethan walked in. His jacket was off. His tie was gone. His eyes locked on me. He walked up to me, leaned close, and whispered, "I just bought something, and Logan's about to wish he never sent that text." Then, with a cool nod, he turned towards the bar, where Logan still stood, smug and unaware. "Logan!" Ethan called out. Logan turned, and then Ethan said the words that silenced the whole venue. "I'm your boss now." The scotch glass in Logan's hand slipped, crashed on the floor. The amber liquid splashed across his expensive shoes. He stared at Ethan like his brain had glitched. "What?" he muttered. Ethan smiled slowly. "You heard me." I swear it took everything in me not to burst out laughing. But I didn't. Not yet. Because this was just the beginning. The crowd stared between them, confused. Murmurs spread like wildfire. Logan stepped forward, eyes narrowing. "This isn't funny, Ethan." "It's not a joke," Ethan replied. "I just acquired 47% of Veneratech stock. As of this morning, I'm interim CEO. I made a call to the board. They already voted." He turned to me. "And your job is safe, Madison. Unless you decide to fire him." I didn't move, but Logan did. He charged forward, grabbing Ethan's arm. "This is insane. You think you can just walk in and—" "I think I can," Ethan said calmly. "And I did. Now I'd advise you to leave. You're not invited anymore." Logan's voice shook. "You don't understand how this works." "I understand exactly how it works," Ethan cut him off. "I've been watching you humiliate her, gaslight her, overwork her. She wouldn't say anything, but I would, and I just did." Logan's mouth opened. No sound came out. The crowd, now fully silent, watched as my boss turned pale, looked at me, and realized his reign was over. I walked forward, slowly. "You wanted me jobless," I said coldly. "Congratulations. You just made yourself obsolete." Then I turned to Ethan. Let's get married. The room exploded. Applause, laughter. And Logan, humiliated, walked out, slipping slightly on the scotch he spilled. But what no one knew was, this wasn't even the revenge. Not yet. That started the next day. The next morning, I woke up with my head on Ethan's chest and my phone buzzing violently on the nightstand. Dozens of missed calls, half from coworkers, the rest from Logan. I didn't pick up. Instead, I watched Ethan quietly as sunlight poured across his jawline. My husband, my protector, my partner in revenge. "Should I be scared of you?" I whispered, nudging him awake. He grinned without opening his eyes. "Only if you're planning on betraying me?" I laughed. But it didn't last long. Because I knew this wasn't over. Not yet. Logan Pierce was a narcissist. And narcissists don't go quietly. I got up, pulled on my robe, and finally checked the latest voicemail. "Madison, we need to talk. There's been a huge misunderstanding. You don't know what you're doing. You've made a mistake. Ethan doesn't know what kind of deals he's stepping into. Call me. Delete. I know things about Veneratech, Madison. Real things. If Ethan thinks he owns me, he's about to find out the cost. Delete." I turned and looked at Ethan, who was now scrolling through something on his phone. Calm, focused, too calm. "Are you sure you want to go through with this?" I asked. He looked up. "I've never been more sure of anything." I hesitated. "You bought part of his company for me. That's not nothing, Ethan." He put his phone down and stood up. "You think I did this just for you?" I blinked. "I did this because I believe in you," he said. "Because you've spent the last 5 years building something he took credit for. Because you created an entire division that's now being pitched to venture capitalists as his idea. And because I saw the look in your eyes every time you came home late. Exhausted, broken, but too proud to admit it." His voice cracked slightly. "So number. I didn't just buy it for you. I bought it because it was already yours. I just made it official." Tears burned behind my eyes, but I blinked them away. He walked over, took my hand, and placed a single key in my palm. "What's this?" I asked. "Our office." I frowned. "What office?" "The one we're opening today. You're not going back to work for Logan. You're going to replace him." My breath caught. "You're serious?" He nodded. "We're launching a new tech incubator, and you're the CEO. All your ideas, your patents, your prototypes, they're no longer buried under his name. They're yours again." My knees nearly gave out. I had dreamed of this, not just revenge, but freedom. But it always felt like fantasy, not anymore. "But I need to warn you," Ethan added. "Logan's not just going to roll over. He's got allies on the board. He's dirty. He's desperate. And desperate men don't go down without a mess." I straightened. "Then we clean it up." 3 days later, we walked into Veneratech's headquarters. The elevator ride was silent, just Ethan and me, but the energy buzzed. I wore a sharp black suit with no brand labels, just tailored confidence. Ethan looked like he could buy the building if he felt like it, which he basically had. As the elevator doors opened, heads turned. Whispers erupted instantly. "She's here. Is that Ethan Parker? Wait, isn't that Logan's position?" We stepped into the glass conference room. Half the board was seated already. The other half awkwardly walked in behind us, and then Logan entered. His face was pale, eyes bloodshot, but the smile, still cocky, still fake. "Glad you could join us," he said, sitting down like he hadn't just threatened me days earlier. Ethan stood at the head of the table. "We'll keep this short," he said. "There are serious questions about company misconduct under the current CEO, embezzlement, patent theft, harassment, whistleblower suppression." He placed a folder on the table. Inside are documents proving internal. Sabotage of multiple women-led projects, all buried by Logan, all traceable. Logan laughed. "This is a stunt." I leaned forward. "Number, this is your audit." He froze. Ethan continued. "The board has reviewed the files, and a vote was held last night." Logan's voice was almost a growl. "That's not possible." "It is," Ethan said. "And the board voted 8-2. You're removed as CEO effective immediately." Silence. Then Logan slammed his fist on the table. "You don't understand what you're doing? I built this. Me? Not her. Not some nobody." I looked him in the eye. "You built it on stolen work, and I'm not a nobody. I'm the woman who used to stay late in her cubicle fixing your messes while you drank with investors and took credit for my code. I'm the one you threatened, manipulated, gaslit. I'm the one you fired. I stood tall. And now I'm the one who's going to erase your name from this company's history. His face contorted. You think you've won? This isn't over. You just declared war. I stepped closer. No, Logan. You declared war. I just made it fair. He tried to speak again, but Ethan held up a hand. Security will escort you out now. And just like that, 2 security guards stepped in. Logan stood up, shaking. You'll regret this. You'll both regret this. But no one answered him. Not even the board. He was just noise now, a page being turned. And me? I was holding the pen. The silence after Logan was escorted out was unreal. Not just in the room, but in my head. For the first time in 5 years, I wasn't holding my breath at work. I wasn't bracing for another condescending remark or an email at midnight, asking why I hadn't thought bigger. I was free. But freedom, I'd learned fast, didn't come without retaliation. And Logan Pierce wasn't the type to lose quietly. Later that day, I was in the new office Ethan and I set up for the launch of our tech incubator. It was still being painted, half the furniture was missing, and the logo hadn't even been finalized yet. But it was ours. I stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, taking in the city skyline when Ethan walked in, his expression tense. Bad news, he said. I turned slowly. Go ahead. He handed me his phone. It was a blog post. Exposed, former assistant overthrows tech CEO with her billionaire husband's money. Did she sleep her way to the top? Below it, a blurry photo from our wedding. Me holding Ethan's hand, smiling. I felt my stomach twist. They're calling me a gold digger, a corporate spy, a fraud. All of it, Ethan said quietly. It's all over LinkedIn, Reddit, finance forums. He's behind it. Of course he was. Logan had started the smear campaign, and it was spreading like wildfire. The worst part? Some people believed it, even people I'd worked alongside for years. One comment said, she used to bring him coffee. Now she's CEO, sounds like a trophy wife takeover. I threw the phone down. I gave everything to that company. I built Venera AI. I managed entire rollouts while he was at golf retreats. And now I'm this? Ethan walked over and pulled me close. He's scared. That's why he's doing this. He has nothing left but lies. But lies go viral faster than truth, I snapped. He didn't argue. My inbox was filling up too. Is this true? How much did you really contribute to Venera AI? You sure you didn't ride your husband's wallet to the top? I felt my skin boil. You want to know what hurts? I whispered. They didn't question him when he stole my code. They praised him. But the moment I rise, they ask who I slept with to get here. Ethan's jaw clenched. Then let's give them a reason to shut up. He picked up his phone and made a call. To who? I asked. To a lawyer who specializes in corporate defamation and cyber sabotage. But by nightfall, Logan had made his next move. A former intern posted a fake tell-all on a burner site claiming she saw me steal internal prototypes and delete code to sabotage Logan's work. It was all fake, but the story got picked up by an online tech mag desperate for drama. It spread like blood in water. The next morning, I walked into our new office and found 2 of the junior developers gone. Where's Ava and Travis? I asked. One of the engineers looked away. They texted this morning, said they didn't want to get involved in whatever's happening between you and Logan. The betrayal stung, not because they left, but because they never asked me my side. I walked into the bathroom and locked the door. My reflection looked stronger than I felt. My hands trembled. My heart pounded. I was so close to something real. A legacy, a company, freedom. And it was being ripped apart by the man who'd once told me, you should smile more during meetings. I gripped the edge of the sink. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about clearing my name, taking back my identity. Not Madison the assistant. Not Madison the wife. Madison Blake, CEO, visionary, founder. I came out of the bathroom and marched into the conference room. Meeting in 10, I told the team. Everyone who's staying, I'm about to show you why I built Venera AI and why Logan didn't understand a tenth of what I created. For the next 3 hours, I broke down every innovation I had led in Venera Tech. I rebuilt part of the Venera AI backend live. I explained the machine learning models I'd trained, ones Logan once dismissed as too niche. I saw it in their eyes, the shift. They didn't see a gold digger. They saw a technologist. A few hours later, a developer who'd quietly taken a job with a rival startup emailed me, "Madison, I made a mistake. Can we talk?" But Logan's next blow was bigger. That night, as Ethan and I were eating takeout on the office floor, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a subpoena. "What the hell is this?" I asked. Ethan grabbed it, read it, went still. "He's suing you," he said. "For what? For IP theft?" I laughed in disbelief. "My IP?" He nodded grimly. "He's claiming the AI code was developed under his name, on his time, and therefore belongs to Venera Tech." I stared at him. "So he wants to sue me for stealing what he stole from me?" "Exactly." My hands curled into fists. The darkness I thought I'd escaped was rising again, but this time, I wasn't alone. I had a husband who believed in me. I had proof, and I had fire in my blood. "You want war?" I whispered. "Then I'll give you war." And this time, I wouldn't hold back. By morning, the headline was everywhere. Venera Tech sues former executive for AI theft. $30 million lawsuit filed against Blake Incubator. My name was trending, not because I'd done something wrong, but because Logan wanted the world to think I had. That's when I realized something. Logan didn't care about winning the lawsuit. He only cared about destroying my reputation before the truth could catch up to him. But what he didn't know was that I'd been recording everything. See, Logan was sloppy, too arrogant to hide the breadcrumbs. I'd kept receipts, emails, voice memos, meeting logs. Even that time he drunkenly admitted over Slack that he used my algorithm draft to build his newest innovation. I looked at Ethan, who sat across the room on a video call with our legal team. His expression was hard, focused. He wasn't just helping me anymore. He was defending me like I was his empire. "This lawsuit could bury him," Ethan said, hanging up the call. "No," I corrected, pacing. "The lawsuit's a distraction. What's going to bury him is the truth." I turned to my laptop and began pulling every piece of digital evidence I had. That night, we dropped the first grenade. I uploaded a 3-minute clip to a private server and forwarded it to The Forge, a respected tech media outlet known for digging deep. The video? A screen-recorded Zoom call from 2 years ago. One where Logan was visibly drunk and bragging to a junior dev about taking Madison's work and cleaning it up to make it pitch-ready. The kicker, he said, "She's smart, but she doesn't understand the game." That code? It's mine now. End of story. It wasn't the end of the story. It was the start of his fall. The next morning, The Forge published their article, "Exclusive: Secret Video Exposes Venera Tech CEO Claiming Ownership of Employees' Work." She's smart. But that code? It's mine now. Comments exploded. By noon, hashtags like #Justice for Madison and #Pierce Plagiarist were trending. And by 2 p.m., Venera Tech stock dropped 13%. I sat back in my chair as Ethan read the article aloud, grinning. They just called Logan the Elizabeth Holmes of machine learning. I cracked a smile, but I wasn't done. That same day, I hosted a live stream. Just me, in a blazer, no PR team, no fluff. I titled it, "Let Me Tell You What Really Happened." 35,000 people tuned in. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I spoke clearly, calmly, like a woman who had nothing left to prove. I spent 5 years at Venera Tech. I created Venera AI's original backend. I built the adaptive memory framework. I personally patched 3 major cybersecurity holes no one noticed. And I never once received proper credit. Instead, I was told to tone it down. I was told, "You're not the face of the company." I was told to wait my turn. I held up the subpoena. And now I'm being sued for stealing my own work. I paused, looked straight into the camera. I'm not telling you this for sympathy. I'm telling you this because I'm not the only one. There are women and men in this industry who get steamrolled by louder voices with fancier suits. If you're one of them, this fight is your fight too. I ended the live stream by saying, the difference between Logan and me? I never needed to steal anything because I created it. And that night, the board of Venera Tech finally snapped. Ethan got the call at 10:42 p.m. I was curled up on the couch, drained but alive. He turned to me, blinking. "They're launching a formal internal investigation," he said. "A forensic audit." I sat up. "What?" The board's panicking. One of the senior members just resigned and leaked chat logs. Apparently, Logan forged at least 2 investor emails and misused acquisition funds. I stood slowly. And what happens now? Ethan gave me a look I'd never forget, one that said, "He's finished." But Logan? Logan was desperate now. The next morning, I found a letter slipped under my office door. A single sheet, handwritten, no return name. "You think you've won, but you've made enemies you can't see. You took something that didn't belong to you. And soon, I'm going to take something from you." No name, but I knew that handwriting. It was Logan's. I sat frozen for a second. Then I picked it up, walked into Ethan's office, and dropped the letter on his desk. He read it, then picked up his phone. "We're hiring private security," he said. "Today." But even with security in place, I couldn't sleep. Not because I was scared of Logan, but because I knew what he was like when cornered. He didn't just strike back, he went for blood. And I had a sinking feeling that whatever he planned next wouldn't just be corporate. It would be personal. 2 days after the threat letter, I received another call. This time, it wasn't from a lawyer. It was from the investigative journalist I'd worked with. "Madison, we just got something." "What is it?" I asked. She hesitated. "It's audio. One of Logan's ex-assistants recorded a conversation from last year. He admitted to paying a reviewer to sabotage your patent application." I froze. "That's a felony," I said quietly. "Exactly," she replied. "We're running the full story at 6 p.m. I hung up and looked out the window. Ethan walked in, holding coffee. "You okay?" I nodded. "He's done. For real this time." 6 p.m. The news hit like an earthquake. Logan Pierce caught on tape bribing patent reviewer. FBI involvement confirmed. Veneratech board issues immediate statement. CEO facing criminal charges. And just like that, the empire collapsed. By 7 p.m., Logan's face was on every screen. Red-eyed, hiding from reporters, surrounded by agents in suits. By 8 p.m., my phone buzzed again. It was his ex-wife, a single message. "Thank you for finally finishing what I never could." I stared at it for a moment, then exhaled. 3 weeks later, I stood on the stage of our incubator's first public launch. No spotlight, no fancy theatrics, just real innovation, real work, real people. I looked out at the room. Developers, journalists, young women in tech who'd messaged me saying you gave me courage. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I had to prove anything. I just spoke from my heart. No one handed me this position. I fought for it, bled for it, was almost destroyed for it. But here I am, and I'm not leaving. Applause broke out. And in the back of the room, I saw Ethan, hands in pockets, watching with that same quiet pride. Later that night, he pulled me into his arms on the rooftop. "Still feel like jobless Madison?" he teased. I smiled. I feel like Madison, the woman who burned an empire and built her own. He kissed my forehead, and below us, the city lights flickered. But none were brighter than the fire I'd kept alive, the one Logan tried to extinguish. He lost everything trying to silence me, and I gained everything by refusing to back down.